Here's a basic tutorial on how to create an Internet in a Box using a Raspberry Pi. This is a beginner-friendly tutorial and is going to skip over things like networking and interacting with the Raspberry Pi without a graphical interface. For this demonstration, I'll be using a Raspberry Pi 3B+, an HDMI cord, a 5-volt micro USB, a keyboard and mouse that plug in via USB, a computer, a 256GB micro SD card. You'll also need a micro SD card reader. First thing you're going to do is pop your micro SD card into your micro SD card reader. You're then going to plug that into your PC. After that, we're going to begin installing the necessary applications to get Internet in a Box on your micro SD card. First, you're going to install the Raspberry Pi imager from raspberrypi.com to format your micro SD card. After the installation is complete, press Windows key and R to open up the Run window. You're then going to enter in this command, which should open the Raspberry Pi imager. For choose device, you're going to choose all. For the operating system, it's going to depend on the Raspberry Pi that you're using. For my Raspberry Pi 3B+, I'm going to use the first one. And for your storage, you're going to choose your micro SD card. After you've chosen all your settings, you're going to click Next and Yes to erasing all of the data on the micro SD card. Once that's complete, you're going to put the newly formatted micro SD card into your Raspberry Pi. You're also going to plug in your keyboard and mouse, your HDMI cord, and your 5-volt power. Once you start up the Raspberry Pi, Internet in a Box should load up within 2 minutes. The Wi-Fi should also be discoverable, and Internet in a Box should be accessible on other devices. Back on the Raspberry Pi, you should be able to access the admin control panel. It will be using the default admin password, which is discoverable here. Log in using the default admin password. This can be changed later. And once you're logged in, you should be able to install those zip files for offline use. Just for the installation, make sure that your Raspberry Pi is connected to the internet via Ethernet. If you are going to install these files over Wi-Fi, make sure it's over a 2.4 GHz connection. You can also access the admin control panel via a device connected to the Raspberry Pi. Here, you can also install content to the Raspberry Pi, as well as manage the server settings and more. I hope this tutorial helped you get your Internet in a Box up and running. This was just the basic introduction, and there's a lot more to learn. I highly encourage you to visit internetinabox.org and learn more about how to customize your Internet in a Box for offline use.